Enchanted Tiki Talk is brought to you by Kingdom Strollers. Our premium stroller and crib rentals are delivered straight to your Disney or Orlando area resort. It couldn't be easier. Book yours at kingdomstrollers.com. And Mouse Pros. Let our travel specialists plan your next vacation. Our concierge level service gives you the perfect hassle-free vacation. Get your free quote from Sean or any of our magical agents at mousepros.com. And now, it's show time!
In the tiki hut, in the tiki hut, all the birds talk Disney and the listeners swoon in the tiki hut. Welcome to our enchanted hideaway, you lucky people, you. If you weren't listening starting right away, we'd be out of an audience too. In the tiki hut, in the tiki hut, in the tiki hut, in the tiki hut.
Hello and welcome to Enchanted Tiki Talk. This is episode 276 for the week of March 20th, 2019, and spring has finally sprung, at least in the South. So this week on the show, once again, Keith's not able to make it with us. Sorry for the delay. I was sick yesterday, and I've been sick the last couple days. Keith wasn't feeling so good today, so I ended up bringing a friend who lives in the north. And his name is not Jon Snow, but it is Brian, and he likes apples. What's going on, Brian?
How we doing? It's nice to come on this side of the wall once in a while, so...
Yeah, I'm sure it is. You know, get away from the White Walkers.
Yeah, winter is still coming. I'm getting another couple inches my way, so...
Oh, no.
Yeah.
When will it end?
Hopefully soon. I mean, it can't keep going.
I hope so. At least, is 2 inches enough to get the snowmobile out there? Or you need more than that?
Get my daughter's little one going, but mine won't hold up. But we got 4 wheelers just around the bend, so...
Right, that's true. All right, so that's cool. So, I know you have a trip coming up in the summer, and you're going to be glamping it, and you're also going to be staying at the yacht club. So I know you're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm going to park the RV out in the parking lot of the yacht club. That should look nice out there.
Yeah, I know. I think they charge you like $400 a night to park the RV, so that's great.
Yeah, so that's what, $7 total with the room. Yeah. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Not too bad.
No.
I mean, after staying, in the campgrounds for so many days, you guys get to pollute the pool area there, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, the old swimming hole.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about staying over there is the pool there. It's great.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous with that new DVC coming. I'm afraid those high-end guys are going to start pushing their way in, but...
You'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. By high-end, I mean you. You got that right.
Yeah, I understood what you meant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got it. All right, so I don't think anything else really that is happening. I was recently in Disney World. As of last week's show, Steve and I talked about the tour, the Keys to the Kingdom tour. So that went over really well. Keith and I want to talk about the Disney After Hours experience, so that'll be coming up on a future episode as well. So with that, I'm going to send it over to Steve for the news. Steve, go ahead and take it away.
Hi, Steve from Disney Diary here. This is What's News.
Are we there yet?
It's finally done. This week, the Walt Disney Company officially now owns the 20th Century Fox movie and television studios. The new lineup includes the X-Men, Avatar, and Simpsons franchises. It also includes Blue Sky, the Ice Age Animation Studio, the National Geographic and FX cable networks, most of the streaming service of Hulu, and a fast-growing television service provider in India. Now that it's all complete, what will it mean for the parks? Only time will tell.
Whoa, this place sure has changed since Disney bought the rights to Cosmic Wars.
Those commemorative personalized bricks that are spread around the Magic Kingdom and Transportation Ticket Center entrance will soon be removed. Sold in the 1990s, the bricks were part of the Disney's Walk Around the World program, which allowed guests to leave a message etched in a brick and that's laid in the walkway. Disney committed to have the bricks on display until 2011, but now has decided to rip them up as they are going to make some major changes on security and other things taking place there. Since the bricks were not designed to be removed individually, they will not be available to take home. Instead, guests who purchased a brick would be able to buy a souvenir version through August 31st, 2019. Now, a number of new restaurants, attractions, and renovations have been announced this week, so let's take a look at them. Aunt Polly's on Tom Sawyer Island in the Magic Kingdom will remain open for food service through April 28th. Misner's Lounge at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort in Walt Disney World is being expanded. The lounge will undergo renovation and will close starting in April. It'll expand into the nearby Commander's Porters, which will permanently close on April 4th. While the renovation takes place, Misner's Lounge bar service will move to the first floor lobby area next to the Garden View Tea Room. The Grand Floridian Society Orchestra, which plays some great jazz, will move to a new location within the main lobby area during the renovation. Rafiki's Planet Watch, the Affection Section, and Wildlife Express and Animal Kingdom will fully reopen this summer with new enhancements, and it will celebrate everything of The Lion King. The 7-hour Ultimate Backstage Magic Tour will be adding a new experience this June, a backstage look to see what it takes to bring the Rivers of Light to life at Animal Kingdom. This exclusive daytime visit takes guests behind a hidden marina where the animal and Lotus barges are prepared for the evening performance. Guests will see and learn about the mechanical and technological secrets behind the attraction. In addition, the lunch location for the tour is going to be changed in June. Instead of eating at the Whispering Canyon Cafe at Disney's Wilderness Lodge, it will now be a Tiffin's restaurant in Animal Kingdom. Another attraction is being added to Epcot. This one will be a film at the Land Pavilion called Awesome Planet. Disney has announced the film will showcase the spectacular beauty, diversity, and dynamic story of our Earth. It'll be shown in the former Circle of Life Theater. Finally, a new restaurant will be built next to the upcoming Remy's Ratatouille Adventure in Epcot's France Pavilion. The new creperie will have a menu inspired by the Brittany region of France and offer table service dining as well as a quick service stop for those guests craving crepes. Now you can find out the latest news at DisneyDiary.com and follow me at Disney Diary on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Now, back to the Tiki Hut.
Thanks, Steve, for the news. So this week on the show, with Keith's absent, we received a email from a listener out there named Meredith, and basically she was asking about taking young kids and her family to Walt Disney World. And since Keith does not have kids of his own, and I do, and they're spoiled, I figured I would take Brian, who spoils his kids as well, and we are going to answer the listener's question. So here, I'm going to start it off. Says, hello, Keith and Sean, longtime listener to the show, and just wanted to say thanks for coming back this year. I know this email is, I think, a month or so ago. I did respond to her via the email too as well, so I wanted to stay on top of it, but I did want to get around to this to go on the air, and I just thought it'd be good to talk about this because there's plenty of people out there that might have some questions like this or can refer this episode to people who are trying to plan a trip. So
Absolutely.
Yep. So many people out there love to listen to the show and appreciate what you guys do each week. I have a question for you guys, but mostly Sean. My husband and I have made many trips to Disney as a married couple, but a few months ago we adopted 2 children. They are biological brothers. One is 8 months old and the other is 3. What age do you feel is a good age to bring them to Disney for the first time? Neither speaks English yet as well, so please keep that in mind. Brian, what's your thoughts on that?
Me and my wife both went, we went down on our honeymoon and a couple times without kids, and soon after we had our first one, my cast member friend got married, and he asked me to be in the wedding, and that was, at the time, my oldest would have been 8 months old, and that's exactly when we took her down, and I don't know if I would do a newborn. I've seen that, where they literally, weeks old, some of these kids look like, but an 8-month-old, my own experience, I've gone 3 times with an 8-month-old, so I don't see anything wrong with that. I loved it. It's a great memory.
Yeah, I've done a 5-month-old and a 7-8-month-old. I forgot how old my daughter was when we took her for the first time. And both times for us were great experiences, but we're also the type of people who always took our kids out and about. They're always in the car, always going over to somebody's house. So they're always traveling, so they adjusted well to the travel. As far as like being in Disney goes, they were great. Both my kids, when they were in the stroller, they napped in the stroller. We never once had to go back to the room to take a nap. So that worked out for us. And it's very easy for the most part to take a young kid to Disney. One, you're not paying for them. You got your food with you. There's plenty of places for you to go, cool off. You get the kids out of the heat, depending on the time of year. I don't know if I would do dead of summer necessarily, but I think you still can if you're going to plan to like go back to the pool, go back to the hotel a little bit more. But you do take advantage of the child care centers because they do come in handy. It's a great place to cool off, great place to change a diaper, and the bathrooms are plentiful. And there's spaces in every bathroom has even the men's bathroom has the spot there where you can change your kid's diaper. So in that regard, it's really easy, and you still can do attractions. You can still do a rider swap. So it works. It's an easy thing to do if you don't mind spending time alone per se on some attractions. Where even as the kids get older, you're still going to have to do that. It's swap out things, but the kids seem to like it because it's a new experience for them, especially when you live in an area that's not so colorful. Depending on the time of year, like Brian, where you are, you have two colors. You have brown, which your trees are brown. And then you have the sky, which is a gray. So you get down to Disney, and the kids' eyes just open up.
Yeah, I like you said on the whole thing about August. That's when July, August, I always can go, just with my situation, and that did make it a little more difficult with the heat. Changing it and tough, and we didn't normally use the changing stations. We just kind of snuck her in the stroller and changed it right then and there and just made sure no one was watching. And I mean, we never did it on a dining room table or whatever. We didn't break out the Pinocchio.
Right.
Pinocchio's Village House on the buffet. I didn't really throw my kid down there. That was the heat was the one thing, trying to make sure especially with an 8-month-old, but even, all the way up to 5, 6, 7, when they're still not conscious of their own health care to a point. Keeping them hydrated, keeping them, snacking and resting and out of the sun and sunscreen. And, when you got to provide that day-to-day or the minute-to-minute care, that does make it harder in August and July. We did take breaks. We used the pool a lot. Again, lot of breaks. Back to the hotel for naps. I mean, that was just as good for me and Mommy as well. So
right.
But yeah, I definitely would, if you can help it, do not go in August and July with that age. It'll just create issues that don't need to be there any other time of year.
Right. Next part of the email here is, what is a good family resort open to several different budgets? So I'll start this one off, and I'm going to say, without a doubt, Art of Animation, I think, is a great resort to stay at, especially for a first-time family, because you can get the family suite there, and having kids at 2 different ages, it's nice to have that extra space in the family suites. And not only to have the extra space in the family suites, it's the pools. The pools there are great. They are themes. The resort is really well themed. So you get to you have boys, so it's incredible that you're going to probably introduce them to the movie Cars, and if the Cars world come to life, they're going to love seeing that and walking through that. Then you have the Finding Nemo pool, so I think that is a great option as well. There's just so much to do, so much to see there. I think it's a great family resort. And then if you're going to move yourself up a little bit to the moderate area, I think that I'm eventually going to spend more time talking about this, but I think that Caribbean Beach is a great option since they've redone the resort. I was amazed how well the rehab was done, and the pool area is spectacular. The dining is spectacular down there, so that's another option. And then if you're going up to the deluxe area, I'm going to say Wilderness Lodge, without a doubt, would be my choice. One, because you get to take the boat to the Magic Kingdom. You're going to spend more time at the Magic Kingdom than anywhere else. So you're just going to put them in the stroller, wheel them onto the boat, go into the Magic Kingdom. When you go back, same thing, wheel them onto the boat, onto the dock, and back to the resort. And it's a nice resort. It's very, it's very open. The pool's great as well. It's got a very relaxed feeling. So that would be my choices. Just to quickly go over, those resorts.
I agree on that moderate one. Out of the each of them, Port Orleans and Coronado are great. Me and my wife loved them, but with the kids, I just don't think the appeal is there as much as the what you said. The Caribbean beaches, it comes across more of a kid-friendly environment. It first, more than just like they have those special rooms. Even outside of that, I think the pool is themed great for the kids. It's more of a playground type pool and area than the other two resorts would be. And, Art of Animation, obviously, that's a go-to. Actually, for kids, any of the value, it doesnn't matter to any of the All-Stars, Art of Animation. They're all very, very kid-friendly, because that's obviously what a lot of families go to. And we fit 5 in the All-Stars just fine.
Right.
And on top of that, with her having an 8-month-old, we always, and people can do what they want, but I'm not one to get one of the resorts pack and plays to put my kids in.
Okay.
So we would just order one. You can get one $30 off Amazon or Walmart or whatever, and get that free whatever shipping. Ship it right down to resort. We get it there and ship it. Show up. It's there waiting for us. We got a brand new pack and play. We don't have to worry about having to exchange it 20 times to find a clean one or what have you, because you never know what you're gonna get. And that's just a generalized tip for everybody. And it's cheaper actually to send a brand new one from wherever you order from than it is to just ship your own down there if you can't, if you're on a plane and obviously might want to take it. So it's actually cheaper just to buy a new pack and play each time, tell you the truth. And we often would just donate it or find somebody, or I give it to my friend to give it to one of his friends, something, just pay it forward. So
that's a good point.
What do you think on the I'm going to call them Euro resorts, because obviously I won't stay in them, but for that high-end stuff, we're going to try it this trip for the first time to actually stay in a deluxe resort, but for kids, I just don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Wilderness Lodge is definitely the way to go. The resort you're staying at, Yacht Club, would be another good option. But if you're trying to stay a little bit more in the budget-friendly aspect of the things, Wilderness Lodge would be my choice, just because that's just below a deluxe-priced resort, even though it is a deluxe resort. And
to throw in...
What's that?
To throw in just real quick, too, you're talking about the Art of Animation, the suites, the cabins at the Wilderness, Fort Wilderness, we stayed in those once, and we loved it. The double busing, that's a pain, but it comes with the territory of being such a large resort. But those are beautiful. They just refurbished them. It was a great time that we had there, and we fit me, my wife, 3 kids, and my in-laws as well. So there were 7 of us fit very comfortably in those. So that's an option as well for a nice, and that's very relaxed. It doesn't have the hustle and bustle of a normal resort. So if you want to kind of wind down and have a little more quiet, it's a great option.
Yeah, that is like you said, that is a great option. That's more like you're going to not spend so much time in the park. You want to spend more time relaxing. That is some place that you definitely would go. All right, next on here, what do you think would be good for kids? What parks do you think would be good for kids and their first time, and what attractions at those parks would you recommend? Go ahead, Brian.
I found that obviously the thing that when I look back at my kids, especially with her 8-month-old, but I mean she has we'll have an older one as well, but my kids could have just spent the entire day at Disney Junior with that Disney Junior show. She recognizing with her kids it might not be the same until they become more familiar with it, but obviously if they grow up with it, they're even at 8 months old, they're going to see what's going on and they're going to like it. So, and that kind of the Disney Junior on Stage just transforms to Magic Kingdom for the whole park. You know, the character greetings are going to be one of the bigger things for the young ones. So those would be my kind of two go-tos. Hollywood Studios, you know, it's Toy Story. I haven't been there yet, so I can't forget about that. But definitely Hollywood Studios has that character appeal, and obviously Magic Kingdom right there with again, the Magic Kingdom with the attractions, very family friendly. All the people mover type rides, the slow rides, those types of things that you can, we found the best way to do it too. Just one of my own advice things is, what are those front pack thingies? We just call it the front packs, but Baby Bjorn, something like that.
Right, yeah, Baby Bjorns, yeah, yeah, right.
My kids, when they're 8 months old, absolutely love to be strapped into the Baby Bjorn with either me or my wife and just ride anything they could. They were moving, the lights, the smells, the sounds, even Spaceship Earth, that sound, that smell, she cried, but still she had a reaction to it. So it's out there. I don't know what you think on that.
I mean, of course you're going to have the Magic Kingdom because that's going to be the park that's going to have the most options for you. You're going to be able to do pretty much everything in Fantasyland except for the Mine Train. You're going to be able to do Pirates. You're going to be able to do Haunted Mansion. You're going to be able to go do TTA, which is a great attraction. I think kids of all ages enjoy that because there's so much to see, and it's just very relaxing, and it's just like being in the car, so they'll be very relaxed riding on that attraction. Also in there, you have the train, you have the Jungle Cruise, so there's a lot to do there. There's a lot to see, and you have characters as well there. Leaving there, it kind of gets a little bit harder. Animal Kingdom probably could work for the young kids just because you can see the safari and spend a lot of time looking at animals. As far as like other attractions go, that's where you're going to be kind of limited to. You could do the Navi River boat ride. You'll be able to do Triceratops Spin. You can do the Tree of Life, the Bug's Life thing there, and that's where it's going to kind of end for the most part. But it's a park where you can spend time walking through and experiencing things. Then you also have the play yard, the boneyard as well, that the kids can go explore, and that would be good too. But I think not knowing if they like animals, if they're like animals and have an interest, then I would definitely say Animal Kingdom. I think for the most part, you could probably skip Epcot unless you want to do Epcot and you yourself want to experience the countries. Otherwise, then Studio, because Studio, you're going to have some shows you can do. You can have you get to see Frozen, Beauty and the Beast. You'll have some of the Toy Story attractions you'll be able to do. But I mean, you're still kind of limited of what you could do. So really, I would focus my time on Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, we often would split Epcot and Hollywood Studios and split the day between them. Just
right. Having
daughters had to do the Frozen ride, but besides that, there was really nothing there for the young ones to really enjoy. And my only drawback would have been with the Animal Kingdom is the walking. I mean, you definitely want a good stroller. Don't rely on Disney having one available. Obviously, you can use Kingdom strollers. Great choice.
Yep.
And shameless plug there. But yeah, definitely have a good stroller. One of our trips, we got a bad stroller. We brought it down with us. It was fine for the first couple days, but 10 straight days with it just took its wear and tear. And one day we were going to the Animal Kingdom, and we debated whether it was worth having that stroller or just trucking it, and we ended up trucking it, and it was either way, it would have been a horrible day because the stroller wouldn't have worked, and we would have been walking. And that is a hot park, and it's a large park, and a lot of walking.
Yeah, the beauty of having Kingdom strollers, I've used them a couple times. We've had clients where we've had issues, but they get a replacement out to you as quick as they can. So if you would have had problems at Animal Kingdom, they would have got one to you more than likely back at your resort, but you can get a replacement using them.
In fact, they turned us on. Granted, I haven't actually used them, but I see them all the time in the parks.
Yep.
And that day we were having our stroller fit, we actually saw somebody with a stroller, and we're like, wow, that stroller rolls on the ground. It does everything it's the kit and caboodle of strollers.
Yep.
It's Rolls Royce. We actually talked to them, and they had a Kingdom stroller tag on it, and they kind of let us look at it, and I'm like, all right, this is the stroller for our future, and we bought it that next day. We ordered one, and I can't stress enough with kids, with the size of these parks, you need to have a good stroller.
Yep, without a doubt.
Do your research, whatever you got to do, have a good stroller. Lots of shade. Don't cheap out. That's not one area where you want to cheap out. That can make or break your day.
Exactly. And don't forget the Disney ones are hard plastic and they don't recline.
Oh, yeah, they're little hot boxes.
Yep.
So,
next question. Sit-down restaurants, are they a good thing or bad thing? Same thing with character meals. What is the best option for young kids? I would think, that's a hard thing to say. Are sit-down restaurants good? For you guys, considering that you've just adopted them and they're not really necessarily familiar with going out to restaurants, maybe you might have some problems. So I would stick with the character meals, I think, because unless you're going to someplace like Germany, I don't know if I would focus on Ohana. It might be harder for you to enjoy the meal, but I think doing a character meal with at Chef Mickey's or at
Cape
May or at
Garden
Grill, yeah. I think or even I think probably if you do a Mickey one, and I think do a Winnie the Pooh at Crystal Palace, I think those probably the two you focus the most on, because I think that's going to be a little bit easier. You're not going to feel so bad if the kids scream or yell, as opposed to sitting in. I could say Ohana, but there's so many other sit-down restaurants. You're sitting. If you went to Restaurant Marrakesh in Epcot and your kids started to scream, you might feel a little embarrassed. But when you're at one of the character breakfasts, it's not going to be so bad.
Yeah, because no one knows what they're actually screaming over those ones. So
right.
Mickey Mouse just walked by. So, I agree with the character meals. We used to be a Disney dining plan family. I don't know if that is a question she would have had coming up or not, but I'll tie it in here anyways. Once my kids started, I actually had to start paying for their dining plan. It no longer became a value because they don't eat enough. Right. My wife doesn't even eat enough. I always ate enough to feel that it was worth it, but now definitely don't do a Disney dining plan. And with kids to have a reservation every single day, very, very difficult. It wasn't enjoyable. It made it more of a chore to get to these places on time, to schedule it in your day instead of having more of the liberty to kind of come and go. So keep that in mind as well. But like you said, when it comes to the restaurants, definitely character meals. I actually, one step further than that, character meal breakfasts, because every kid is hungry in the morning.
Yep.
I found out throughout the rest of the day, they're all hungry at 100 different times. They all want a different snack at different times and different things. So we normally, when it comes to sit-down meals, character meals, we stick to breakfast. And that would include Ohana then. It was a way to get, experience that resort then. So you can throw Ohana in that as well. So that'd be my go-to. In fact, this trip coming up, doing nothing but breakfast, like 2 or 3 of them out of our 10 days. Then that's plenty.
Yeah, it is.
We'll
it's good.
Get our fill. And again, with the characters, you're going to have great memories with your 8-month-old, grabbing Mickey Mouse's nose or Pluto's ear, or that stuff that a infant does that is so random and so, adorable, I guess. So you're going to enjoy that as well coming out of the character meals. You're going to get great photos and great memories.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's the thing to focus on. It's the little moments like that are going to make a huge difference.
It's worth the money to me for the characters. The food's the food, but it's you're not waiting in line. You're not waiting in the heat. You're enjoying a nice meal, and you're getting something out of the way just to a point.
Right. All right. So last question we have here is: have you ever used rider swap with your significant other? Did it feel weird riding something by yourself? Brian, go ahead. You can answer this one first.
I actually probably overuse rider swap. I don't really want to get on the naughty list, but I probably have actually, I hate to say it, abused rider swap. it's you got to know how to use it. Obviously, it's something to plan, something to figure out, and make sure you know what you're doing. But it's so worth it, and I'm glad they do it. I don't think there's a single ride. I mean, my kids are all starting to get of age where we can do stuff, all 5 of us now. But since the first one was born, maybe every single attraction that has a height limit, we used it. So every single one, even if it's a fast pass, even if we both had fast passes, there's ways to use that as well, because you can go on the fast pass, me and my daughter, make sure you keep this in mind as well, because then I can get off and my wife can take my daughter on, even though she doesn't need a fast pass. So make sure you let them know when you're going through there, not just the rider swap, but with the fast pass as well, to let them know you want to rider swap within that fast pass. So you can bring your kid on twice then. Because that's also the best part about it too, is that your kid's going to get to enjoy the same thing twice as well if they're of the right age.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. I've done it as well. I've done it by myself. Is it weird going on by yourself? For some of the attractions, it can be, especially when the line... I mean, sometimes the Fast Pass line can get 20, 30 minutes long, depending on the time of year, sometimes even longer. And it can get a little bit weird. It's just, because you want to experience that attraction with somebody else. And it's kind of weird going on, just say Rock and Roller Coaster by yourself and then coming off, and somebody on the thing was like crying and screaming for their mom, and you get off and you don't have that experience to tell somebody, so you're going to tell your wife or whoever and be like, oh yeah, there was a person on there who's screaming really loud, and it kind of takes away from the moment when they're not experiencing it as well. It can be a little bit weird, but it is also fun as well, because you do have those moments by yourself to enjoy it.
And I don't know about you, but Disney's a great place to meet people.
It is.
I've actually met people that I still connect to, either through my YouTube channel or through Twitter or what have you, still to today, from 10 years ago, that I'll still every so often just send a hi to, because we met in a line. And you'll actually run into other single people. You'll see them and you'll talk and discuss and like, what did you do? And it's a great way to meet people. A lot of people in there are leaving somebody behind in a lot of these rides.
Right.
So they understand as well. Even if it's a group of 3, they might be leaving their mother or their sister or somebody behind, and they'll talk. People love talking. I mean, it's a great place to find out about other people and where they're from, and it's a great opportunity. So as much as it's a drawback to go by yourself and have all these pictures of yourself on Splash Mountain with your arms crossed looking angry, it's great opportunities, and you just take advantage of the situation, because you're at Disney, so you have one common thing already to talk to people about. So I think that's a great way to kind of look at the positives of it.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's something I didn't even think about, and you brought up a great point, and that's something I should try to do if I go down by myself again. So, Brian, I want to thank you for coming on the show this week. I want to thank Meredith for sending in that email. Brian, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on socials?
YouTube and Twitter. YouTube, I run a little channel. I need to do better with it, about my farm, growing apples day to day, what I do. People find it interesting, amazingly enough. And then on Twitter as well, Appleman365, YouTube and Twitter. You'll find me under most of Sean or Enchanted Tiki Talks or Keith's conversations. And please say hi. I just like I'm in the line by myself at Disney. A lot of times I'm by myself on the farm, and I love having conversations with people. So make sure you say hi.
Hello.
I already know you.
Oh, okay.
You don't count.
No, sorry. All right, so that's going to do it for this week. But first, we want to thank our sponsors, Kingdom Strollers. Get your premium stroller crib rentals at kingdomstrollers.com. Let the vacation experts at mousepros.com help plan your next perfect Disney vacation. Don't forget to check the store at redbubble.com/Tiki Talk Podcast. You can connect with us on social media. Find us on Facebook at Enchanted Tiki Talk, Instagram and Twitter at Tiki Talk Podcast. You can leave us a message on the Tiki Talk hotline. It's 256-4MyTiki. And if you enjoy the show, please take the time and rate us on iTunes. You can find me, 1 Minute Disney Dream, on Twitter. That's 1MIN, Disney Dream, MouseWorldVacations.com, and MousePros.com. And you can find Keith at Dole Whip Me Daily. No, it's just Old Whit Daily. I don't do Old Whit Daily. I don't know what that one find. And you can also find Steve at Disney Diary on Facebook and Disney Diary on Twitter. That's it for this week. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Alan, take it away.
Thanks for listening this week. For Sean and Keith, I'm Alan, and this has been Enchanted Tiki Talk. Aloha.
Enchanted Tiki Talk has been brought to you by MousePros.com. Let us plan your perfect Disney vacation. And by KingdomStrollers.com for all your premium stroller and crib rental needs. For all of us here, I'm David Benter. Thanks for listening to Enchanted Tiki Talk.